Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all honor, all praise, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Arachak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. As always, peace, blessings, and salutations unto the tabernacle of David, the hopeful elect, scattered abroad across the four winds of the earth. Now, this video, it gave me some spark to go ahead and do a response, in the form of a lesson, because I thought, just dealing with this would be edifying because of what we're seeing and noticing in these final days, dealing with, Esau's desire to, take control, to continue to colonize and, with his insatiable nature that he has. And he pretty much, the way he breaks it down, all I could do as I was listening to him was think about certain scriptures, that stood out. All right. And basically, I'm going to just play the video so y'all can hear it. But he's going into the insatiable nature of E. How he wants so much control that he's even willing to sabotage his own alliances, his own partnerships, just to satisfy his own gut, his own belly. And that's what we're seeing happening with, this current administration and the initiative and the objective that they're set out to accomplish. Them wanting to take Greenland, knowing that, your Denmark homies occupy that particular land. All right, so this is all going to lead to Esau's own downfall. And this is what we're witnessing in these last days. We're witnessing the fall of our enemies. So without further ado, let's listen to it.
Yeah, I watched that speech. So when you watch that, you have to be able to see how the A National OCGFC are operating and why Trump is their man. I mean, I've been telling you for 3 years, going on 3 years, that there's a destabilization campaign against Europe. That's what the Ukraine war actually is. It's a proxy war being waged by the United States, not against Russia, but against Europe. I've been telling you that they're turning on each other. The West is turning on itself. I've been telling you that America is going to become more and more interested in creating conflict in the West, not in the global South.
And that's exactly what's leading to the beast hating the whore. Because America is causing these conflicts. They're able to, trade in weapons and send aid to fund these conflicts that are happening. But when it comes to the final decisions to be made on particular issues, America is through Trump, of course, is making all the decisions based on their own unilateral benefit. In the long run, it's only benefiting the whore, and Europe is pretty much having to suffer. But they know that America fits the bill, on their defense. They understand that as long as they are allied with America, they have that protection. But now they're starting to see that it's all pointless. And they've been calling for their own sovereignty and their own military for a while, especially Germany, France. So they're beginning to distance themselves from the whore because they're seeing that, man, this whore is she's freaking selfish. So yeah, this is all leading to that. But let's continue because he breaks it all down.
I've been telling you that the historical roles of the global North and the global South are going to be reversed. Didn't I tell you that? Well, look at the last Trump press conference. He's talking about destroying Canada economically. He's talking about trying to force them into submission. That's what all this talk is really about. He's talking about making the whole country into an American state. And he's talking about doing the same thing with Greenland. Except with Greenland, he even said that they might use military force to do it. So that's a direct threat against the EU, and they've taken it as such. He's literally saying that America could potentially use military force against a European country in order to seize territory from them. Seize European territory. Well, that's nothing but colonization. What he's talking about with regards to Canada, that's nothing but colonization. The man is talking about occupying, colonizing, and pillaging other Western countries, the resources of other Western countries. He called the border between Canada and the U.S. an artificially drawn line. I mean, Putin didn't even say that about Ukraine. Meanwhile, the border with Mexico, well, that isn't artificial at all. It's just an artificial border between Canada and America. Greenland and Canada get to become American states. Meanwhile, Puerto Rico is called a floating island of garbage at a Trump campaign rally over the summer. So Puerto Rico is trash, and the Mexican border needs a wall, but the border with Canada is just an imaginary line. It doesn't really exist. Now, the obvious racism is just that. It's obvious. But if you think about it a little bit more deeply, there's a reason for drawing a demarcation line like this, what Trump is trying to do. The U.S. empire is looking at subjugating the northern hemisphere, and the southern hemisphere is no longer any of their business. It's out of their sphere of influence. In fact, the southern hemisphere is the ascendant hemisphere. I mean, did you notice how his press conference, how it began? What he did, what the real reason for the press conference was? He was talking about the UAE pumping in $20 billion of investment into the United States. I mean, imagine. We're already at this point. We're already at the point where an American president is bragging about successfully attracting foreign direct investment from the global south into America. I mean, this is usually the kind of thing that a president in the global south would be bragging about, you know, being able to attract foreign investment. But now you have the president of the United States, or the president-elect of the United States, being proud and bragging about the UAE opening up data centers in his country. Role reversal. It's actually really interesting to me. It's interesting to watch all of this play out, alhamdulillah, in our lifetime. We're seeing a major change. Basically, the neocons, the nationalistic OCGFC, are being placated. This is what Trump is doing. They're being redirected to feed their cannibalistic appetites on other Anglo-Saxons.
Ooh-wee. Man, that's exactly what's going down right now. And this is why he's aiming for Greenland. Okay? This all goes back to that appetite. When you read Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, it says that his desire is as hell. He enlargeth his desire as Sheol, man. That's that self-colonizing cannibalism that he's referring to. All right? Showing you how the scriptures are so on point. Let's go to Habakkuk 2. I'm going to start the 4th verse. And it reads, Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, which is why he can't rest. He's always in the midst of something, trying to cause chaos or conflict, so that he can impose himself and he can start, taking control. All right. Whatever government is in the way of, whatever endeavor that they are out to serve, or if you're sitting on land that has the resources that he wants, he's aiming for you, and they're going to come up with some type of narrative to justify it. It says, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And he's doing it even amongst his own. And this is why you're going to see the beast come against the whore. That hatred is growing, man. The scriptures say, he that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He can't even be good to his own allies because of his insatiable nature. Now, when you look up that word, I've looked up the word keep at home in the Hebrew, but I want to look up that word desire. When you look up the word for desire, it says, who enlargeth his desire as hell. The word there is napash, which is basically when you look closer into it, it's talking about your soul, you know, and what makes up your soul. What is your soul made up of? Your mind, your appetite, your desires, your innermost passions. When you go down here to the Hebrew Chaldee lexicon, I want to go down, and this is the part I want to zero in on. It says, also in many expressions which belong to the sustaining of life by food and drink, or to the contrary, it says, thus they say, my soul or life is satisfied. Right? Your soul. And you want to feed yourself with soul. You want to feed your soul with knowledge. You know, food for the soul. Like a comedy, for example, a lot of people love comedy because you feel like your soul is being fed, because they're able to feed you with information, but make it laughable. You make it, you know, relatable, you know, because they'll say something and they'll be facetious about it, but it makes so much sense to you to the point that it tickles you. It makes you laugh. So, you know, your comedy, comida, you know, which means to eat. When we get the nourishment of these scriptures, your soul is being fed. That's why the Lord said, you know, he said, I have, Slakia. I just drew blank, but, you know, it's been several times where the Lord basically compared this knowledge to water. Like he told that woman at the well, you know, that I have water that, you know, if a man drink, he should never thirst. You know, the Lord said he's the bread of life. This word is nourishing, you know. This is all to the saving of the soul. This word, and receive this engrafted word, which is able to save your soul. All right. So you feed yourself through these scriptures. It says, with meat and drink, and then it gives the scriptures: Proverbs 27:7, Isaiah 55:2. That says, to fill the soul, the life, i.e. to satiate. Proverbs 6:30, and is used even for the element, Isaiah 58:10. And on the contrary, my soul, life hungers. Proverbs 10:3, 27:7. Thirsts. Proverbs 25:25 says fast. Psalm 69:11. Abstains from certain kinds of food. Number 30:3. Is polluted by them, Ezekiel 4:14. Our bread will be defiled among the heathen. It says also an empty soul, life, i.e. hungry, Isaiah 29:8. A dry soul, i.e. thirsty, Numbers 11:6. To open wide the soul, or life, i.e. the jaws, Isaiah 5:14. Habakkuk 2:5. The soul as distinct from the body is meant. Okay, so you know, Esau, his soul is open wide for all this control, you know, for all the earth's resources and wealth. That's what his soul is open wide for, and it's insatiable. All right, it can't be satisfied no matter what he has. That's why it says this here. Let's go to Sirach 14. Yeah, Sirach 14 and 9, and it says, a covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion, and the iniquity of the wicked drive up his soul. See that? So that's basically what this prophecy is insinuating. That Esau has a dry soul, man. Because no matter how much he eat or drink, it doesn't satisfy him. No matter how much land he colonizes or conquers, no matter how many trade routes he has control over, no matter how many resources that he possesses, it's not enough. So he's going to continue to wage war and destabilize governments until there's pretty much nothing left. Even to the point of him waging war on his own allies, man. Making it uneven for his own partners. And this is no different than what happened in the past. That's why the scriptures say there's no new thing under the sun. Because when you had during the Hellenist period, you know, you had the Seleucid dynasty that controlled Syria and into Asia. And then you had the Ptolemaic dynasty, the Ptolemies that ruled Egypt. But they both were at odds because they were fighting for control over the Levant, because the Levant was pretty much like a bridge between the two regions. If you controlled the Levant, you had access to trade. You know, you had Tyre and Zidon. You know, they had the seaports up there. You had a lot of agriculture. All right. You know, you had military embankments that, you know, if you control that territory, you know, you'd be able to have better sight so that you can actually have a certain posture when there's a enemy or a threat that's nearby. So both sides saw the land that was in between them as very valuable pieces of land, and so that's why you had those 6 Syrian wars between the Ptolemies and the Seleucids. It's the same exact thing. So that same this same nation that's in power right now, they're at odds with each other once again over territorial control, you know, colonization. So this is going to be Esau's own undoing, his own demise, because he's trying to, you know, take on everything, and it's only going to lead to him destroying himself, because everybody's getting ready to, everybody's turning on this devil. He's gonna look up and there's not gonna be no ally but the little hat people that put that battery in their back to do what they're doing. That's how you can understand, like it says in Jeremiah 49, that the least of the flock shall draw them out and make them desolate with them. Because they're gonna look up and know, they're gonna see that you have no other ally, because everybody they done turned on you. All right. So, and let me get this in Obadiah, because this is what it's also going to lead to. This is nothing but a kingdom on a global level being divided. And what did Yahushua say? A kingdom divided against itself, a house that's divided against itself cannot stand. This is Obadiah 7. And it says, all your allies will turn against you. They will help to chase you from your land. They will promise you peace while plotting to deceive and destroy you. Because you know their EU nations, they tolerate Babylon. You know, they tolerate them. They make it as if, you know, everything is all good and peaceful. But some along the way, there's going to be a set trap that Babylon is not going to see coming. It says, while plotting to deceive and destroy you, your trusted friends will set traps for you and you won't even know about it. Yeah. All right, because Esau, you like it says in Jeremiah 49, man, I have made Esau bare and I have uncovered his hiding places and he will not be able to hide himself. you know? And everything around you is going to be spoiled and taken and destroyed. So you ain't going to have nothing to uplift you or to hold you up anymore. All right, that's going to be the end of your world, your empire, as we all know it. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob's the beginning of it that follows. Because you are all over the place, man. You burning down Argentina's paradise because you want their resources so that you can set up your AI digital tower of Babel. You know? So yeah, this is all going to eventually backfire. So Esau is committing self-cannibalism, as he's putting it. Because his desire is as hell, you know?
I mean, this was the West's primary activity for centuries. Before they ever invaded our lands, they just cannibalized each other. That was the main pastime. So we're coming full circle.
Yeah, even when the three horns was fighting with each other, they was committing self-cannibalism on each other. You know? European countries going to war with each other over land that neither, you know, was given an inheritance to. They just came and just took it. That wasn't the original inhabitants of the Americas, but you see what they came to do. And they started to fight each other over it. So it's the same thing, but on a global scale now. So that's why eventually this is going to lead to the beast hating the whore and burning her with fire. Okay? So what I'll do is I'll leave a link to this. You know, if any of you brothers are interested and want to, you know, do a land back. But yeah, he was cooking right here, man. That's exactly what's going down. Esau is eating him. He's eating up his own self. All because of his greed and his pride. If he's envious to himself and can't do good to himself, to whom will he do good? And this is what the nations are figuring out. You know, you don't want that cannibal to come over to you and start eating on you, taking your resources in your land. So that's why the weak right now, they have to build themselves to that strength to be able to, you know, take this whore on. And they're gonna have to band together and be strategic, because this is not an easy fight. But anyway, you know, I'm gonna end on that, and Lord willing, y'all edified. I'm gonna give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh Shem El Shai. Shalom.